back with Sherrie Gahn, the amazing, amazing woman that I found out about. She's a principal of Whitney Elementary School in Las Vegas. And the things that you do, and I know you keep saying that you see children in need and you just do it, but there are a lot of people that work in the school system and they feel like they can't do anything, and you actually took steps to do something on your own. You grew up in the projects yourself. These are some of the things that Sherrie does with your own money, and of course you ask for donations. You help pay rent, you help pay bills, you get free doctor's appointments, you get free eyeglasses for them, you get free visits to the dentist, you get the food for the families. And how do you do that every single day? I mean, it must be just overwhelming to think, tomorrow I have to do it again.
Well, it can be overwhelming. But when you see their faces and you see the hope that you're giving them, and you see when you give them food or you give them clothing, or when a child can see for the first time who couldn't see because we now have glasses on them, it gives you that energy to move on. And then on Fridays when I was really, really bummed, and which happens a lot sometimes, and I would TiVo your shows and watch them, and as I was ironing and and get inspired because you do it all the time.
Well, I say it all the time, the fact that I get to make people feel good, and especially people like you that need to laugh and need to feel good, I love being a part of that in any way I can. Some of these kids, though, you mentioned they don't even know. I know there was a kid waiting outside that didn't know where he was going to sleep that night. They don't know where they're going.
Right. That happens, fortunately, not all the time, but we do have it, and more than I wish we had. And with this little boy had a toothbrush and a bottle of soda in his backpack, and when I asked him where his belongings were, he showed him.
That was it.
That's all he had.
That's all he had. Mm-hmm. And when did you first realize the neediness, the true neediness of this the situation?
The very first day I got there, and I saw them eating the ketchup, or taking the packets for home, and they do eat the ketchup a lot too, but they were taking the packets home and the sporks. And then I drove the neighborhood. And as I was driving the neighborhood, all I kept thinking about is that I was raised in the projects, and even though I was raised in the projects, I always had that sense of hope and things that would be different. I always knew it would be, my mother always instilled that to us, that there was hope in a better tomorrow. And I didn't know that that was what these children felt. And I was determined at that point to make sure that they knew that there was hope. And as things came across, I started servicing them.
And I think this is another thing that I heard, that you noticed that they would start to get depressed on Fridays or before a holiday.
Yes.
Because they probably would not eat till they came back to school.
Yes, they get very antsy, and it's really bad on holiday times or summers, but it's particularly bad on Fridays when they know they're not going to. They don't know what they're going to get. They don't know if they're going to have any food.
Any food until they come back to school.
Right.
And if it weren't for you, they wouldn't even have that. But you actually decided to take matters into your own hands and do this. I really want to challenge any school out there, any teacher, any principal, to take a look at Sherrie and see what she's doing.